know, started out tonight, I was going to do something different. Yeah, I wasn't going to do anything different. I was going to do the same old, goofy Eric, come up here, we're going to bowl a little. I had a really cool thing I was going to show you with fire and smoke and stuff. And here's the thing. For some reason, I don't think I need to do that tonight. As I was sitting there listening to you guys sing and thinking about what it is I was going to talk to you guys about tonight, I don't think that stuff's going to go with this. All right, so we're not going to do any of that tonight. Here's the thing. I get tired of these games and stuff sometimes, I get tired of coming and having these games sometimes and trying to come up with some games and have some fun. And everybody kind of expects it from you, and you kind of have this moment where everybody thinks, oh, Eric, he's going to do something silly, he's going to do something crazy. So I got to kind of fit that mold sometimes. And I think sometimes I put a lot of pressure on myself when I do that, But tonight I want it to be a little bit different because here's the thing. I get tired of comfortableness, I get tired of being comfortable all the time in church. I get tired of being comfortable all the time in my walk with God. And man, there's something inside of me that just says, you know what, there's got to be more than just bowling pins and fire and smoke and all of this. I mean, this isn't a show, It's not just a show that I'm trying to give to you guys. It's something from the heart that I want to give to you guys, And so that's where I'm going to go tonight because I really don't think that any of these games and things go with this tonight. So tomorrow night, we'll try to pick it back up. We'll do some games. We'll have some fun. I'm not saying there's nothing. Listen, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having fun. I'm all for it. I'm the inventor of fun. I love it. But there are times where it comes where we got to come to God and we got to come to Him for who He is. And here's the deal: we have brothers and sisters in other countries. I don't know if you guys had any missionary things this week. Okay. You guys have probably heard them talking about brothers and sisters in other countries and how that they have it and how that they have some things that go on in their life. They don't get to come to Camp Hope in a nice school building with bowling pins and fire and smoke and show and lights and songs, They come to God because they love Him and they want to be with Him. And they have this passionate pursuit that they pursue after Him with every single being in their body. Where's that at with us, Where is that at with you and me as Americans? What has happened, I think, is we've gotten soft in that sense. Some of us we think of uncomfortableness in Christianity. Whenever we think uncomfortable, we think that the temperature is not set right in the building we're going to go worship in, And to us, that's uncomfortable. And it's a real shame because that's not really uncomfortable, There's more to Christianity than what we're doing, guys. There's more to Jesus Christ than what we're doing here. He wants a relationship with you guys. He wants to know you. We learn the Ten Commandments in a cool way. And, man, that's impressive and stuff. And, what's real cool, I know all those. And we can go through the 66 books of the Bible, and we know that, and we got all this head knowledge and head gush. But some of us are missing it out of the heart. Some of us know a whole lot. We've let that cloud our judgment on how we have a relationship with God. We think because we know these Ten Commandments, because we have some cool things that we can do our hands and we can bowl them down, that we know God and that we're close to God. We think that we're close to God because we get to sing songs and read the PowerPoint and we get to do all that. Somehow we think that makes us close to God. And listen, I think that some of us are delusional in that. God loves this stuff. He wants you to know this stuff. But that's not the whole purpose, We're kind of missing the point if this is all we do, is learn a bunch of stuff. You're kind of missing the point if you come to Camp Hope this week and all you do is learn the Ten Commandments. All you do is learn the books of the Bible. All you do is learn a few Christian songs. You're missing the point. It's not about head knowledge so much as it is about finding a relationship with Jesus Christ. And listen, here's one Christian characteristic that I wanted to talk about tonight is this. It's about being passionate in our pursuit for Christ. I want to read you guys a little something out of out of a book I read by Mark Batterson. The book is named All In. And I really, that's the way we need to be as Christians, is all in. He gives us an example, he gives us a story of some missionaries. I will read this to you guys, and I want you guys to think about this. Could you do this? It says a century ago, a band of brave souls became known as one-way missionaries. They purchased single tickets to the mission field without the return half. And instead of a suitcase, get this, they packed their earthly belongings, the few earthly belongings they had, they packed them in coffins. They sailed out of port, they waved goodbye to everyone they knew and everyone they loved, and every single thing that they ever knew. They knew that they would never ever return home. A.W. Moline was one of those missionaries. He set sail for the New Hebrides in South Pacific, knowing full well that he wouldn't return. That the headhunters who lived there had killed every single missionary before him. But Moline did not fear for his life, because he had already died to himself. His coffin was packed, quite literally. For 35 years he lived amongst the tribe and he loved them. When he died, tribe members buried him in the middle of their village and inscribed this on his tombstone. When he came, there was no light. But when he left, there was no darkness. You see, that's what I want to be known as. That's what I want to be remembered as. I don't want you guys to remember me as the guy who come up with some cool games and things like that. I want you guys to remember me as a guy who, there's something weird about him because he is so passionate about Christ. You see, I think that what we've done, in a sense, is a lot of us just follow Jesus out of our own convenience, A lot of us think that this is it. A lot of you think that you're super Christians because you came to Camp Hope for a week to a Christian camp. And man, you must be like a super Christian. It's not all there is to this, guys. You see, people say that they want to follow Jesus. Some of you have even said this. You want to follow Jesus. But look, do you know that following Jesus costs a lot? You see, I think we as preachers sometimes have given you guys a misrepresentation of that. I think sometimes we as preachers have said, well, all you got to do is confess with your heart, or confess with your mouth, believe in your heart that Jesus Christ is Lord, and you shall be saved. And that's true. But that's kind of where we leave it. We leave people, we just kind of leave people and say, oh, you come up front, you pray the prayer, and you're good to go. You see, following Christ is more than that. It costs you. You don't believe me? Ask people overseas. You see, does it really cost us? Think about it. I want you to think about what it costs the people overseas. Here's the thing. A lot of people overseas, when missionaries go and they talk to them, a lot of these people overseas, they'll come back to the missionary about a month later and they'll say, you know what? I didn't sign up for all of this. So I'm out. I don't want this Christianity anymore, I thought it was going to be easy. I thought everything was going to be great when I signed up for it. So I'm done. I don't want it anymore. And so what some of the missionaries have done is they found out that these people have, they found out that this has cost them more. This has cost them more than what they thought it would. And so here's some of the questions I want you guys to see that they've asked. Some of the questions that they ask people whenever they decide to become followers of Christ overseas, this is some of the questions they say to people. Are you willing to leave your home? See, somebody comes up to a missionary and says, hey, I want to become a follower of Christ. The missionary is going to say, I got a few questions for you then. Are you willing to leave your home? Maybe another question is this, are you willing to lose your job? Are you willing to forgive those who persecute you? Are you willing to be beaten rather than deny your faith? Are you willing to go to prison? Are you willing to die for Jesus? See, here's the deal. Some people don't like me up here talking about that because hey, that's too extreme, right? Because the Bible says, you know what, you're supposed to do everything in moderation, right? And that's baloney. That's not in the Bible. In fact, it's totally opposite. The Bible says you better be all in with all of this. This isn't just 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You better be all in with it. So here's the thing. Some brothers and sisters in other countries, are making commitments to become Christians, and they're making commitments knowing that it could cost them their families, it could cost them their jobs, it could cost them their very lives. I got a video of a person overseas that I want you guys to take a look at. And they tell a story about becoming a follower of Christ overseas.
Everything in following Jesus. I remember being challenged by a girl called Fatima from Saudi Arabia. She was in her mid-20s and living in one of the most hostile places on earth to be a Christian. She'd not always been a Christian. In fact, she started life as a Muslim. And then through a period of searching, she actually became disillusioned with faith and chose atheism. She said that a lot of her friends would say the Bible references Muhammad. And so what she did was she spent hours researching the Bible, and she said, no matter where I looked, I couldn't find any reference to Muhammad. But she said, the one thing that I did feel as I read the scriptures is that God was near me, and that the evidences and the information presented was true and intact. But what long after this, Fatima began blogging, began getting online and writing blogs for her friends to read. She wanted to share her newfound excitement for God. As a measure of safety, she would do it under an alias called Rania, which translated means contented. To protect her from the multitude of insults and responses that she would get to her writings about Jesus, I remember on one occasion she received the following reply to one of her blogs about Jesus' love for the Saudi people. And it says, you worship a foolish, crucified, cursed Lord. We are not honoured by Saudi Arabian Christians. If I had you in my hands, I would slaughter you twice. Fatima responded with this, may the Lord Jesus guide you and enlighten your hearts. To those who become Christians, how you are so cruel. And the Messiah says, blessed are the persecuted. And by God, I am unto death a Christian. It's this kind of faith and this kind of lifestyle that challenges me to the core. It's a bold, unashamed, a risk-taking faith. And as I think more and more about this idea of risk-taking Christianity, I ask myself, is there any other form of Christianity? Or is Christianity in and of itself risk-taking? It wasn't long after this series of blogs that Fatima decided to tell her family that she had become Christian. You see, she said that she was sure of one thing, that they needed to know about Jesus Christ. When she told them about her decision to follow Jesus, an argument broke out amongst the family and became heated very quickly. And the next day, Fatima returned from a family function to find that her brother had broken into her room and was actually sitting on her laptop. This troubled her greatly because she knew that the desktop picture was a picture of the cross. And she knew that many of her writings and blogs were sitting open on her desktop. She said when she walked into her room, her brother was very angry. Fatima decided to lock herself in her room as a measure of safety. And she jumped online and she wrote a blog to her followers, and it was simply entitled, I'm in big trouble. Over the next 4 hours, she asked all her followers to pray for her. But she also was able to write these incredible words. Jesus Christ is my light and salvation. Whom shall I fear? Shortly after this, Fatima's brother returned to her room. He burned her face. He burned her back. He cut out her tongue. And he killed her. Her own brother. You know, as I think so much about her story, I think to myself, what's my response? I think to myself things like risk-taking Christianity. Is there such a thing? Because the Bible that I read, the Bible that I see and hear in the stories like Fatima, they tell me that Christianity in and of itself is defined by risk. It's defined by stepping out of comfort zone. It's defined by courage and hope. You see, it's easy to be a Christian in your head and sort of honour God with your words. But being a Christian in your heart and with your actions, that's the real deal. A Christian in the deepest fibre of your being. It's where faith, it comes alive and it materialises from faith into action. And your natural response to a relationship with Jesus is to express it any way possible.
Matthew 16:25, it says this, it says, "For whoever would save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake will find it." Let me tell you what the most miserable person I've ever met is like. The most miserable person that I have ever met as a pastor is this person. The one who comes to me and who has 1 foot in the world and 1 foot in Christianity. 1 foot in the world, 1 foot with Jesus. The most miserable person I have ever met as a pastor is the type of person who will come to me and think that they can say yes to both. That they can say yes to the world and that they can say yes to Jesus. See, here's the thing. I want you to think about, what do you have to give up to become a Christian? Here. Here's what we do. You know, I tell you guys at the end of the service, I'll say, you know what? If anybody wants to pray, everybody bow your head, close your eyes, and if anybody wants to pray, you can get up and go to the back to your counselor so nobody will see you. And we make it really easy. We make it as easy as we possibly can to come to Christ. And I wonder where we kind of get that at, because it's not really how we're supposed to do that, you know. See, I don't want to live my life with comfortable Christianity anymore. Because I don't think that there's any such thing as that. I don't think that there's any such thing as a comfortable Christian. I don't think in the Bible it tells us anywhere that you could be a Christian and be comfortable too. You see, I think that's where a lot of us are at. is that we try to be comfortable by playing church on Sunday and being whoever we want to be Monday through Saturday. We play Camp Hope for a week out of the year, and then we go back and be whoever we want to be whenever we get out of here. You see, that's comfortable. That's comfortable Christianity, and that's not what these people are doing. That's not what Jesus says. That's not how he says to come to him. Jesus says, when you come to me, you come all of you. The whole being of you. You come to me. I don't share you with the world. You're mine or you're nothing. See, I don't want you guys to come to camp, and I don't want to make you good boys and girls. It's not my job here. It's not my job to make you boys and girls who are going to be good, you know? That's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm going to become. I don't want to be a person up here who's going to tell you, all right, well, look, if you guys remember all these 10 commandments, if you guys do this, then and you walk out here and you're good boys and girls, then I've done my job. That's not my job. My job is this. I want you guys to realize what it is like to just surrender your entire being to Jesus Christ. Whoever will save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. See, I want to challenge you guys. I want to challenge you guys to surrender everything you have to Jesus. I'm talking about everything. Because here's the thing. I have found out in my life that this is the only place where I have found joy, and I have found real life, and I have found it more abundantly than I've ever found it before whenever I decided to, you know what, just give everything over to Jesus. You know, so a lot of you know my story. My daughter is here, she's in camp, you know, and she's got this brain tumor and stuff, and man, that's where it comes to, that's where the rubber met the road for me. That's where I realized, man, there's so much more to Christianity than me just going to church on Sunday. Than me just studying for messages so I can talk to you people and tell you people what Jesus is about. There's so much more to that. It's about me surrendering everything I am to him. It's about me seeking a relationship with Jesus. That's where I have found peace and joy and contentment like I have not found anywhere else. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, is that that's where you will find peace and joy and contentment like nowhere else. Is if you take that other foot out of the world and put it all in with Jesus. You know, I'm not just preaching to the kids tonight. I'm preaching to the counselors, and I'm preaching to all of you in here. Everybody in here. This isn't exempt from the adults. It's all or nothing. It's about turning your entire being over to Jesus Christ. It's not about making you good. It's not about learning a lot of stuff. It's about finding a personal relationship with him. There's an author that I really enjoy a lot. His name's Kyle Outman. And he comes up with this, he's got this Not a Fan book, and it's an awesome book. I want to read it. I think some of you have. But he comes up and he talks about this moment in a lifetime where, you guys probably know what DTR means. You guys know that? Define the relationship, you know? You guys speak in acronyms and stuff now, so I don't know Twitter talk. But anyway, so he comes up with this DTR, define the relationship. You guys know what it's like if you have a boyfriend, girlfriend. There's this moment in your relationship where you come up and you have that DTR moment. Back in my day, it was called, are you going steady or not? You know? That used to be how we would decide things. Whenever, I can remember when I was in school and I had no girlfriends and all my buddies did, you know, that worked good for me, I know. But I can remember going up to them and what we would do is I'd say, I mean, we was like in the 5th grade or something, so I mean, I don't know how you really go out in the 5th grade or whatever, but, you know, we'd say, hey, you've been going out for a while, are you two going steady yet? You know? Some of you older people in here know exactly what I'm talking about. For some reason, you know, that's another level in the relationship. It's, you're going out, your boyfriend and girlfriend, you're going out, but then, are you going steady? I mean, that's like one degree away from marriage, I think, you know? But it's a really, when you say, are you going steady, that means, have you really defined your relationship yet? Are you two just exclusively each other's, I don't know what the difference is between boyfriend and girlfriend and being going steady, but there was something there that was just on another level, And here's the thing, I think that a lot of us, we need to have that moment with God. We need to have that moment with Jesus. And some of us need to have it tonight, And so here's my deal. I want you all to have that moment before you leave camp. I want you to have that moment where you find out, am I going steady with God? Is it just a relationship? Is it an exclusive relationship between me and Him? I don't want you to leave here this week without finding out, if you're going steady with God. If you're having that divine relationship moment with Christ. Because some of you, you're kind of in this relationship with Christ where, it's all right, we're kind of seeing each other, but on the weekend, there's something better that comes along, It's kind of like and you girls know if a guy did that to you, how would that make you feel? If a guy's saying, oh yeah, we're kind of seeing each other, but until Heather comes by and then I go and I sneak out and see her. Yeah, you want to just claw his eyes out, wouldn't you? That's not cool. But that's what we do with God. That's what we do with Jesus, a lot of us. A lot of us in here are laughing at it, but a lot of us in here are doing that exact same thing with Jesus. We say, oh, it's cool. Me and Jesus, we go out on the weekend. In fact, me and Jesus are going out all week this week at Camp Hope. I'm Jesus freak this week. We're exclusive this week. But then as soon as you get out of here, it's like, oh man, I'm getting back on the computer and I'm going to look at making pictures. Or man, I'm going to get on Facebook and start talking about somebody. But it's cool because I'm going to go see Jesus again Sunday. We're cool. You see, that's the problem. That's the problem that all of us are having, is we are living one foot with Christ and the other foot's in the world. And we're miserable. It's not just you kids, it's you adults too. We're miserable when we do that. One of my favorite verses is Luke 9:23, and he said to all, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me daily. Daily. Let's break that down a little bit before we leave tonight. The first part of that says, come after me. And so this is what I'm talking about with Christ. Are you coming after Christ? Because what it means here in this verse is this. If anyone will come after me, and what that's meaning is Jesus is saying, look, if anyone will just pursue me with their whole heart and with their whole being. You guys know what it's like to pursue a girl, You guys know what that's like. You give everything you've got to pursue a girl. Girls, I don't know, I'm not a girl, or most people. But Johnny got that funny. Some of you are still awake. I'm just checking. But here's the deal. What is it like whenever you pursue somebody with your whole heart, your whole being? You would do anything for that person, right? You would climb mountains for that person. Let me ask you this. Tell me a story about you pursuing God like that. Do you have any stories about you pursuing God like that? Maybe it's time to define the relationship then. So that's what it means here, to pursue Him with your whole being, with your whole heart. Because see, some of you are saying, you know what, Eric? God, He feels a little bit distant from me. I hear that a lot as a preacher. God, He feels a little bit distant. Let me tell you why. It's not His fault. He's there, He's right there where He needs to be. You know whose fault it is? It's yours. It's mine. If you're feeling a little bit distant from God, you know why? It's because you're not pursuing Him. You see, you can't just stand still and just expect everything to be great. You've got to be pursuing Him with everything you've got. That means you've got to be going after Him. You've got to be praying that the Holy Spirit will show you things. And so if you're feeling a little distant from God, can I just say this? Start pursuing Him a little bit. Not just a little bit, but just start pursuing Him with everything you've got. Look, it's about a passionate pursuit of Him. That's what it's all about, boys and girls and young adults. Don't confuse knowledge with intimacy with Christ. Because some of us have been raised in church our whole life. Our whole life. We've been raised in church. And we got a lot of knowledge. And then there's no intimacy with Christ at all. See, knowing about Jesus isn't the same as knowing Jesus. You know who else knows about Jesus? The devil. He probably knows more about Jesus than you and I do. But you know what his problem is he doesn't know Him. He doesn't pursue Him. He doesn't want a relationship with Him. It's not about having all the books of the Bible memorized. It's not about having the Ten Commandments memorized. It's not about knowing all this church stuff. It's not about all this stuff. It's about having a relationship with Jesus Christ. And here's one of my biggest fears with you guys especially, because I know what it's like to be a guy, is that whenever I say, you know what, you need to have a relationship with Jesus Christ, one of the things that we do as guys especially is we'll say, well, that's not very manly. I don't need to have a relationship with Christ. That's kind of weird there. You don't have no idea. If you think that way, then you don't know what it takes to be a man. Let me ask you this. Do you think that these people who are passionately pursuing Christ in other countries, who know that if they get caught pursuing Him, will die a horrific death, do you want to call them sissies? You see, they're pursuing Him passionately. Are we? Are we pursuing Him passionately with everything we got? Matthew 7, 22 and 23. On that day being the last day, the final day when God comes back, it says, many will say to me, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, cast out demons in your name, and do many mighty things in your name? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. You read that again. Jesus said, and then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness. There's going to be a lot of people that come up to Jesus and say, hey, Jesus, check this out. First commandment, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Second commandment, do not make any graven image. Third commandment, G-O-D, right? Okay, there's going to be a lot of people that come up to Jesus and say that, and they're going to give out all this knowledge, and they're going to tell Jesus all these things that they know about Him, and that's great. But Jesus is going to say, you missed the point. You totally missed the point. Because you don't have a relationship with me, and so get away from me because I never knew you. For me, that's the scariest verse in the Bible. Because when I read that, I think automatically about us in the church. I think about so many people in the church who are so fooled by thinking that they know everything there is to know, but yet they do not have a relationship with Jesus. And He's going to say, away from me, I never knew you. And so look, knowing the Ten Commandments is pretty impressive. Knowing the books of the Bible is pretty impressive. But man, these people were saying they prophesied in His name. They cast out demons in His name. They got all these mighty works in His name. And Jesus still said, look, get away from me. I didn't know you. See, they knew all this stuff. But they didn't have that personal relationship with Him. Scariest verse in the Bible. What He's going to say to a lot of people is that you haven't taken the time to pursue a relationship with me. You haven't taken the time to pursue a relationship with me with everything you got. There's going to be a lot of people who were raised up in the church but wasn't raised in Christ, So many people's idea of Christianity is you come to camp, you play a few cool games, you listen to some short, bald guy spit out knowledge, and then you go home, and man, now you got like 3 stars, 3 Christian stars. And whenever you get to heaven, God's going to be like, oh, dude, you went to Camp Hope in 2015. Come on in. It's not the way it works. just because you're here, that doesn't make you a Christian. Just because you're a counselor, that doesn't make you a Christian. Just because you're a director, that doesn't make you a Christian. Just because you're the preacher, doesn't make you a Christian. Pursuing Him passionately with everything you've got and wanting a relationship with Him, that's what makes you a Christian. See, Jesus wants so much more from us. He wants so much more. There's another part of that verse in Luke chapter 9. It says this. It says to deny yourself. And here's the deal. You could probably ask every adult in here because they've probably come to this point in their life. I have. But there's a point in your life, and there's going to be a point coming in your life where you're going to have to choose. You're going to have to choose. You're going to have to choose whether or not you're going to follow Christ or whether or not you're going to say yes to yourself. You see, there's going to come a point in your life where you're going to say, all right, I got a choice to make. I can either say yes to Christ or I can say yes to myself. There's going to come that point. Maybe it's already came in your life. You know, it can be multiple times it comes. Maybe it's like this. Maybe it looks something like this. You're at a party. There's a lot of bad stuff going on. You know, I don't know, whatever it is. A lot of bad things going on. And they come to you and they say, hey, Eric, do you want to partake in this? You know, and you know that that's not godly. You know that that's not God-honoring. And so now you're at the crossroad. And now you're at that point where you have to say either yes to Eric or yes to Jesus. You're going to come to that point. You'll have to choose one day. As Galatians 5:17 reminds you, it says, for the desires of the flesh are against the Spirit, and the desires of the Spirit are against the flesh. For these are opposed to each other to keep you from doing the things that you want to do. There's the last part of that verse in Luke. And this to me is the kicker. I mean, this to me is the one that just keeps going over and over in my mind every time I read that verse. He says, and carry your cross daily. And this is what I'm saying, and this is why I'm saying that Christianity was never meant to be comfortable. Because I want to ask all of you in here, how many of you in here do you know, if you had to carry a cross, how many of you can do it comfortably? None of you could. Okay? Some things weigh like 500 pounds. It'd be uncomfortable to carry it. It's going to be uncomfortable to carry it. So one of the ways that I think that you can kind of determine whether or not you're following Jesus, whether or not you're carrying that cross, is determine whether or not you're comfortable. Because if you're comfortable, you need to ask yourself, am I really, really pursuing Christ? Am I really pursuing Him with everything I got? Because if I'm really pursuing Him with everything I got, then I know that the world hates Him. And they're going to make it bad on me, and they're going to make it uncomfortable. So maybe some of you are uncomfortable now, you know. Because you don't like hearing this, and that's good. Because sometimes we need to hear this kind of stuff. And sometimes we need to put the games away. And we need to start thinking about this stuff. And we need to start dwelling on this stuff. And we need to realize that Christ has called us to carry the cross daily. And that means that it's not all about comfort. It means that it's not all about camp. It means it's not all about going to church. It means that, you know what, you may have to go to your school and tell somebody about Christ. That's uncomfortable. It means, you know what, the guy may be calling some of you to go in to the mission field and do mission work, and you're like, there's no way I'm going to Zimbabwe because that's hot. It's all about getting uncomfortable. Because I can tell you right now, it's the weirdest thing Because if you get to that point in your life where you're like that, where you're passionately pursuing Him, you will find out that, man, you're exactly where you want to be. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. There's something weird about it, you know? You would think that this comfort is going to be what we're looking for. But I can tell you, boys and girls, right now, that's not it. This isn't it. This is great, what we're doing, but man, whenever you find Christ, when you pursue Him, you find out there is so much more. So much more. See, you can't carry the cross and be comfortable. Many will tell you that you can. And there's people within your churches that will tell you, you know what, it's okay. You can be a Christian and be comfortable. I got to disagree with that. I don't really disagree with it. I read the Bible. And I'm not seeing a place in there where it says Christians are going to be comfortable. In fact, everything I read is like the total opposite of that. Complete opposite of that. You know? I mean, what, like 11 out of the 12 disciples were killed, and then one of them was on an abandoned island. You don't know how comfortable that was. You know? There's a lot of people in the Bible, every one of them I read about. I never did read about one that, you know what, he made it through comfortably. I sure don't read about Jesus walking this earth comfortably. You know? Everybody hated it. Revelations 3:16 says, "So because you were lukewarm and neither hot nor cold, I'll spit you out of my mouth." It's another scary verse. Because there's a lot of us that are walking around lukewarm. So here's what I want you to do at the close of this service. I'll get the counselors to go back again so I can make it as comfortable as I possibly can. You know? And then there's some of you that won't even do that because you feel uncomfortable. It wasn't me. But I want you to take a minute and think. Where are you at in your relationship with Jesus? Where are you really at in your relationship with Christ? Did you come in here tonight just expecting a bunch of fun and games, and then whenever we got done with the games, you was going to tune me out and just wait until tomorrow night whenever I brought back some more code games? Because if that's where you were at, then you really need to check your relationship with Christ. Because I can tell you right now, that's not what I'm about. I want to be uncomfortable. And I don't want people around me uncomfortable. I want you to just take a minute tonight and think about where you're at with Christ, because here's the deal. Some of you need to decide where this relationship with Him is going. You know? Some of you have come to that point where you need to decide, you know what? Are me and Jesus, are we going to go steady? Or, you know, am I going to just break it off and am I going to only give Him weekend visits and things? Because if that's what you're going to do, then you're going to walk through life uncomfortable. Or you're going to walk through life uncomfortable in the bad sense. I'm telling you, pursue Him. Pursue Him daily in your life. Close your eyes and bow your heads. See, this is the point in our services where we try to make it as easy as pie. You know? I just want you to take just a minute and think about where are you at with Him. See, some of you are like, man, I wish you would just be quiet so we can go play our games and stuff. But some of you may be like, you know what, there's some stuff that he said that's right. I have tried to make this comfortable on me. I want you to sit and just think for a moment. Where is your relationship with Christ? Are you all in with Him? Or are you just like kind of lukewarm with Him? Are you 1 foot in, 1 foot out? Are you to the point to where, you know what, as soon as this service closes, then you're going to go back into the world? Because if you keep doing that, you're going to be miserable. Pursue Him passionately. And here's the thing. I don't know if I said this yet, but you need to know this. If you pursue Him passionately with everything you have, I will promise you this. He will be there to be found. Some of you are saying, man, I've looked for him and I can't find him. Well, you haven't really pursued him passionately. That means to abandon everything else, surrender it all, and run to him. I'm going to pray, and as I pray, I'll get the counselors to stand up and go to the back. Then we'll have some music when I'm done. And it'll be the same thing that we did the 2 nights before. You know, we'll play some music. If you feel like you need to go talk to somebody, then go talk to somebody. But don't make this about comfort, okay? Let's pray. Father God, thank you for tonight. Thank you so much for your love. And God, thank you so much for your Son, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for our sins. God, help us to realize that we need to get uncomfortable sometimes. God, forgive us. Forgive us for the mindset where we come into our churches and we think that we're just supposed to come in here comfortably to quote-unquote worship you, God. Because, God, I wonder sometimes, I don't know if we really do worship you because we are so comfortable. God, forgive us for that. God, be with those in here tonight who listen. Be with those in here whose heart has been opened by you, God. God, I pray that they'll respond to that. I pray that they will passionately pursue you from this point forward in their life, God. Because they will find no greater joy than to pursue you. They will not find comfort, but we do know we will find joy. God, thank you. Thank you for loving a wretch like me. That you pursued me. And God, forgive me for whenever I do not pursue you. Help me to do so. Help me to do so with all of my heart. Help me to not have one foot in the world and one foot with you, God, but help me to be all in with you. Help these kids in here, these other adults in here, to be all in with you as well. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.